John Danaher told me when I was in New York that was a tricky situation because, he's one of Renzo's black belts, and then Don was training you. And like you said, I think it was a 1 in 11 chance is what they gave Serra going into that bout, the odds makers. And obviously you went in there and, he surprised you with some shots. How did you deal with that loss? Because it was your second loss, I think, in the UFC. And I'm having a flashback here, George, but I thought I remember that you might have seen a sports psychologist. You might have carried a brick around for a while and thrown it in the water when you got over the loss. Maybe I'm wrong here, but how did you process that? Because when you fought him again, it was almost a no contest. I mean, you were ready for that second fight with Matt.
Yeah, I was devastated after that loss. I believe the odds were 11-1, and don't forget that at the time I just beat Matt Hughes, who was the best fighter of his era. He was like the best guy. So I'm champion. I just beat the best guy, and I'm like the new kids on the block. I'm like, everybody is telling me how good and how great I am, and I start to believe it a little bit too much. And I'm fighting Matt Serra, a guy that the odds are, I think it was like 11-1, like we said. So, not that I underestimate him, but I was not as afraid as I am normally for that fight. Normally, I train in the fear that my opponent trains harder than me. I always visualize all the time my opponent. When I run, I visualize him running next to me, and I have to beat him. When I eat, I visualize him eating next to me. When I spar, I visualize him sparring next to me. Like everything I do, it's because of him. And when I was training for the fight against Matt Serra, I was not like that. I was not seeing that. I was not visualizing it that way. It's like I was not afraid. And I slept quite good the night before the fight, something that I never did before. Every fight that I had, I never slept well. Always. Not only the night before, but I would say the week leading up to the fight, I never slept well. Never in my life. And for Matt Serra, I kind of slept well. It was surprising. And I trained hard, everything, but it's like something was missing. I didn't feel like I was on the edge, so to speak. So I remember when Burt Watson at the UFC, I was in the locker room getting warmed up to get ready to the fight. Burt came and kicked the door and said, "St-Pierre, you're up next. Are you ready?" I told myself, man, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I'm like, and then I remember seeing my face because I watched the fight after. I look like I'm going to a cemetery, like when someone died, it was weird, I don't know what happened to me mentally, but I give credit to Matt Serra. He fought a very good fight. I tried my best, but he cut me, and he beat me fair and square, but sometimes it just happened in a weird way. So after the fight, I was devastated. I lost a lot of my confidence because now everybody was saying like, "Oh, George is not as good as we thought," and all the big expectation that I had for the future, now it all crumbled. So I decided to see a sports psychologist at the time, and it was a very good one. He helped me a lot because I had another fight because I wanted to come back and become world champion again, and I had to face other contender before I had another shot at the title. But every time I was supposed to fight someone, I was thinking of Matt Serra. Now it was in my mind like night and days all the time. So it was like a brick. A sports psychologist made me carry a brick around, and he made me write the name Matt Serra on the brick. And he was telling me that, "George, you're carrying a brick. After days and days and days of carrying a brick, at one point it's going to become heavy, and you need to release it and don't live in the past, live the present moment." And after many days, it was hard. I couldn't release it, but after many days, I start thinking about it, and I went to nearby the Saint-Laurent River, took the brick, throw it in the water. And right away I felt a relief. I know it sounds weird, but it's something that really works for me as an athlete. I felt a relief, and I was able to focus on my upcoming fight. Then I won many other fights, had my revenge with Matt Serra, and win the fight, you know. But if I would not have done that, maybe things would not have gone well for me.
Right, because that brick showed you how much it was holding you back. It was like you're carrying around this weight pointlessly and senselessly. You're carrying around this brick when you've got other things to worry about. And once you felt the weight over a few days, you're like, okay, now I see the senselessness of what I'm doing. And when you threw it out, then you could move forward.
I was just angry at myself. I couldn't live without thinking about it. I was angry because I knew I was better than what I showed, what I did. So I was very mad at myself, and I was thinking about it too much, night and days, and without focusing on the upcoming problem. I had a problem to solve right in front of me, and I was distracted by other things that was no longer important. I mean, so things could have gone very bad for me if I would not have released that brick that I was carrying. I also learned a great lesson after that fight. You know, when I fought Matt Hughes and I lost the first time, I was putting Matt Hughes on a pedestal. He was, for me, like untouchable. Then I lost, and I realized that I could hang out with him in the octagon. I could beat him, and then I beat him. Then Matt Serra, it's like I was not afraid enough of Matt Serra, and it's like I put Matt Hughes too high, and Matt Serra, I should have put him higher, but I put him too low. So when you fight someone, in a way, he's never as good as you think he is, but he's never as bad as you think he is either. He's always different. And also I've learned that the night of the fight, it's like football. It's not always the best team that wins the game. It's the teams that plays the best. Sometimes there's teams that surprise, that beat a better team. They just play better the night of the game. Fighting is no different. Fighting, there's so many outcomes possible. There's so many things that can influence the result of a fight. It's not always the best fighter that wins the fight. It's the fighter that fight the best. And the night that I fought Matt Serra, that night, Matt Serra beat me because he fought a much better fight than I did. And that's how it goes in sport.
So knowing that's true, then how do you behave on the night of the fight? I mean, knowing that the training can help you, but you still have to be in the best mental space, the best corner people. You still want everything to be as good as possible.
I agree. Like I believe it's like a triangle. I mean, you have the physical, the technical, and the emotional. You know, if you have, you know, sometimes emotional is important too, in a way that a lot of young athletes, they come to me, they say, hey, George, I don't understand. I'm burned out. I feel like I'm overtrained. I've not done a lot of volume of training. And I ask them, I'm like, listen, sometimes it's not the volume. It's it could be how things are going at home, or you have problem with, for example, your girlfriend or anything, you know, and because of it, you don't sleep well. All that, it's a whole package. All that has an effect on your recuperation. And it's not only about physical training, you know. It has to do with these things, you know, that are, could be emotional, could be technical, could be physical. You know, you have an injury. So it's all a mix. It's all together, all interconnected.